How do you actually talk about the people who matter the most to you? In this explainer, we're going to break down the essential English phrases you need to describe your family, your friends, all those important connections in your life.
So let me ask you this. If you had to, could you, right now, perfectly describe the relationship you have with your mother or your best friend in English? If you paused even for a second, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to give you the words you've been looking for. Okay, let's start at the very beginning with the foundations, how to talk about respect and family. It all starts with something super simple, right? Just identifying who they are. They are your parents. But we all know a relationship is way more than just a title. And that brings us to this idea of obligation. So let's add another layer here. This phrase, you should, well, it's more than just a friendly suggestion. It really brings in a sense of what's right or what's expected in a relationship. It's a powerful little phrase. And when you put those two ideas together, you get this. You should respect them. See what we did there? We went from just a simple fact to a statement about the nature of the relationship. That's the power of combining these simple phrases. But, relationships aren't just about titles and duties. They are all about feelings. So how do we talk about that? How do we measure how emotionally close we are to someone in English? Here is a key phrase you will use all the time. When we say we're close to someone, it has absolutely nothing to do with how physically near you are. It's all about that strong, warm, emotional connection. And look how this example works. The first sentence makes a claim. I am close to my mother. But the second sentence, I tell her everything, that's the proof. It shows what being close actually looks like. It's not just a feeling. It's something you do. And what's so great about this phrase is how flexible it is. You can make it stronger with very, you can flip it to the negative with not, or you can even talk about what you see in others with seem close. These little tweaks let you be so much more precise. So, what is it that actually makes us feel close to some people and not others? Well, a lot of the time, it comes down to what you share. Let's look at how to talk about common ground. The magic phrase here is in common. This is the perfect way to explain why you're close, or maybe why you're not. Do you share the same hobbies, the same sense of humor? Then you have a lot in common. Are you complete opposites? Then you might have nothing in common. And here's where you start to sound really fluent. You can now build a much more detailed thought. First, you state the level of closeness. Then you give the reason why. For instance, I am not very close to my sister because we have nothing in common. Just like that, you've said so much more. Relationships aren't just something that exists, right? They're active. They're about what we do back and forth. So let's check out the action words, the verbs that really bring a relationship to life. Okay, this next phrase is a real game changer. Each other. These two little words are what turn a one-way street into a two-way conversation. It means the action is reciprocal. It's going from me to you and from you back to me. You can really see the difference here, can't you? Saying he understands me is, well, it's a one-way street. But saying we understand each other, now that suggests a deep mutual connection. That's the language of a real partnership. All right, let's pull all these pieces together now and talk about those really deep connections, the people we really, truly share our lives with. Now, this is a spot where people get tripped up all the time, so let's make it super clear. Together is about doing something in the same place at the same time. Each other is about that back and forth action. So we go shopping together, but we tell each other secrets. Makes sense, right? And that brings us to the ultimate title in friendship, best friend. This isn't just a label you throw around. It's really a summary of everything we've been talking about, that closeness, that common ground, that deep back and forth connection. So what does that actually look like? Well, these phrases paint a perfect picture. You do things together. You spend a lot of time together. And you share everything. And we're not just talking about stuff, we're talking about thoughts and feelings and your life. This is just a fantastic sentence that wraps it all up. You start with the action that proves the relationship. We do everything together, and you finish with the title that this action earns. He is my best friend. It's the whole story in just 2 sentences. Okay, we have covered all the building blocks. We've laid out all the tools for you. Now it's your turn to put them to work. So, take a look at this. How would you put these ideas together in English? Using what we've learned about closeness and sharing, how would you describe this bond? But more importantly, I want you to think about your own life. With all these new tools in your toolbox, how are you going to describe the people who mean the most to you?